Hi everyone, my name is Chris Martin. Welcome to Keto with me. It is day 28 on my journey back into keto. If you're new to my channel, check out my day 0 video where I cover the details of why I created this video series. All right, let's roll the clip. All right, that was my day 28 clip. That's going to be my typical day for probably quite a while, unless something changes, like maybe exercise. Again, I don't know when that's going to happen, but let's go through the numbers first for day 28. So looking at my carb intake for that day, it was 6 carbs. That's really good. You'll see that I actually fasted like 23 hours and 45 minutes. So yeah, being on that trip actually kind of forced me into my, 1 meal a day type of fasting that I used to do. So I'm just rolling with it. It seems pretty natural at this point. I did have a couple times yesterday where I was a little bit like, I was like, do I want to eat now? It was after already noon. So at that point I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to stick this out. And then I was like, oh, I'll go get some more mineral salt water. So I drank a little bit in the morning, but then had forgot to keep sipping it through the day, which is kind of what you're supposed to do. So I did that, and I'm telling you, that stuff really works. It went away probably within like, a few minutes after drinking it. My blood glucose was 84, looking good. My ketones were 2.3. I had some weight loss. I'm now into the 215s, so 215.6, so I'm down 0.4. As you saw from the video, and 18.8 total for so far. So this is the end of week 4. So I just want to give you a quick end of week 4 summary. Over the week, I lost 1.7 pounds. That's not like crazy like the previous weeks. I have it up on my screen here. So for the very first week, I lost 9.4, which we know most of that's water. And then, from weeks 2 to 3, I lost 4.2. And then from week 1 to week 2, I lost 4.2. And from week 2 to 3, I lost 3.5. And then from 3 to 4, I lost to 1.7. So considering all the traveling and everything that, happened and stuff, 1.7 sounds fantastic. So I had an average blood glucose of 85. So the previous week's average was 89. So that's coming down. That's looking really good. And then my average for ketones actually stayed the same. So it's been right around 2 for both, last week and this week's average. So all in all, I'm doing fantastic with, in my mind, I'm doing, and on paper, obviously, I'm doing really good with that. So I'm feeling really good about where I'm at and so forth. And the macros for yesterday was 73% fat, 2% carbs, and 25% protein. So looking really good there because I've got the high fat, low carb, moderate protein. So I'm doing really good there. So today is, this morning, now that when I'm recording, it's day 20 or day 29, so it's the beginning of week 4. I'm sorry, week 5. So I'm really excited about that. I'm 2 days away from launching the channel, so you guys actually see these videos. All right, now let's move on to my goals. All right, let's look at day 28 goals and the end of week 4. So, and see if my pit of success is working. So, right off the get-go, you'll see that my sleep was 6.5. You know, not as much as I've got the last few days. I only got 6.5 hours compared to like 7, 8. But the important thing is that I've got energy. I feel great. I feel rested when I wake up. I don't feel like I could, like I never slept at all. So that's something that's changed significantly over the last 28 days, and will continue to improve. The further I get along, the better things are, and so forth. So I dropped down to the good category on that one, but that's okay. Moving on to eating keto. As I mentioned a little bit ago, I fasted, 23 hours and 45 minutes. That whole travel thing just pushed me right into it and right over the edge. So I'm just going to roll with it. You may not be ready to be doing much fasting by now, but I'm willing to bet that if you've been doing this for, 28 days or, so forth, you're probably already doing some level of fasting, even if you're doing, like just later breakfast or something like that. So I'm in the beast mode category for that because of what I set for my goals. As long as I get over 20 or more, I'm hitting beast mode on that. So I wonder how long it'll be before I start going for like a 48-hour fast or something. So I think it's going to be weeks away, but we'll see how it goes. It just depends on how much I want to stress my body. Style, dirty, clean. I'm staying in the better category for that. Yesterday was, eggs, baked. We did breakfast for dinner, nice easy one of those meals where we hadn't made it to the grocery yet, but we still had the food in the house, so that was a good meal to make. So macros, I only had 6 carbs yesterday, so that was really good. As far as carbs go, it's my macro percents we talked about earlier, it was like 73, 6 and 25 or something like that. 73, 2, sorry, and 25. So nailing that, beast mode on that. Learning, watch the video that I'm going to share today, and moving on to tracking. Tracking's my standard, I don't know if you guys can see, but that's a lot of writing. I do a lot of writing for almost 2 full pages by the time we get done. And then tracking and chronometer, tracking on the spreadsheet. It sounds like a lot, but it really isn't that much, especially after you turn it into a habit. It's pretty easy to do. So it does help keep me on track and help help with the details of what I want to share with everyone. So meditation and relaxation, just got a couple of those 5-minute deals in there. I like to find some time where I can do longer ones, but getting back to work and doing things like that just doesn't always lend to that. Exercise, non-existent at this point. Looking forward to that. Spring's coming, so maybe get out and do some more activity outside and stuff like that. That's it for my goals, folks. Let's talk about the video recommendation. Let's talk about the video recommendation for day 28. So I know I brought this topic up before, but I think that there's going to be people in this boat, and this is the constipation and diarrhea discussion again. And I know I'm beating a dead horse, but for me, it's a very interesting, because I have 2 different takes on it. I have the very first time I went into keto, and then I have this time that I'm going into keto, and they're completely different. Exactly how my bowels. I'm always one of those guys where my wife has been like, "Oh, you have no problem going to the bathroom," and all this stuff. So when I went keto the first time, I had the one extreme, like she said, where I've just started pushing all this fat into my body, and then it's just like explosive. I mean, it probably was about a week for my bowels to adjust to it and for me to normalize and not be scared, to eat, because, I was just, I always had to be near a bathroom. So this side, it's the opposite. So just real quick about the previous time, it takes time, but once your body adjusts, Dr. Boz mentions in this video about how your body has to get used to the the fat enzymes, and and your liver and gallbladder have to go, whoa, what's he doing, or what are they doing, right? So that, like I said, I got through it and everything seemed to be good and no issues. Well, this time it's kind of the opposite side of the coin. My body seemed to adjust pretty quickly to the fats because of my previous journey. A lot of things went a lot quicker this time than the previous time. But this time I'm like, I just feel like I'm constipated. Like I don't feel like I'm going enough. So I wanted to bring that up again, because even someone who's been through this before, I'm running into this, into these issues. So her video, the title is called, it's only 11 minutes and 58 seconds. It's Diarrhea and Constipation on Keto, Everything You've Ever Wanted to Know. So, and she does a really good job. How I've mentioned before, she's really good with the science, but not killing it, too hard on us, so we're not like lost. And the one thing I really like about Dr. Boz, Dr. Berry, and all these, some of these folks that I keep, especially the doctors that I keep pushing, is that they admit to pushing the old ways, right? Like the standard American diet, that you have to have lots of fiber and you have to do this and you have to do this to lower cholesterol and this, that, and another, and then admitting that, that was completely wrong. And, she talked about when before she became a doctor, that, she worked in a nursing home for, I don't know, a year or two or something like that. And she was talking about how her patients, some of them didn't have bowel movements, so they were told that, they had to do they had to massage them, but they also had to massage their abdomen, to kind of push down the bowel movement. So I thought that was very interesting. She called it like a hack, so to speak, to kind of get people's bowels moving. So, she did say that, the body is used to, like when you're eating carbs and stuff, you're used to eating these bigger meals that would trigger a wave and push it on down through you. Well, now you don't have these, large meals, and the waves are smaller and they just don't push as much. And as we know from Dr. Berry, the absorption on a lot of these foods is greater, so the amount of stool is even less too. So she mentioned she has a really neat way of doing it. She talks about chia seeds, and she tells you that you got to commit to like taking these chia seeds like every hour, like seriously every hour, and that they don't have an insulin response. I thought that was very interesting. I looked at the nutrition label, and they seem like they're high in carbs, but maybe I was looking at chia seeds that had something in it, but they said organic. And she just has you like do this protocol for X amount of time until your body gets used to it. So she's saying what'll happen is that while you're, if you keep doing this, that your body will get used to it, and then you'll get back to being regular. So I don't know yet. I don't know if I'm ready to try the chia seed thing. I just keep adding more water. And I've tried the little massage thing, and I get these points where it finally it's okay, and I'm fine with it. So I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. Not sure I'm going to do the chia seed thing, but I think you'll find the video interesting. She has a little mini discussion on IBS. So just looking at my notes here, make sure I haven't forgotten anything. I think that's about it, but I think you'll find it interesting. Again, not terribly too crazy on the science, just enough to where it makes sense to you. But if you're like me and you're kind of, experiencing one of these, we may not be experiencing the other. You may be, right in line right now. But if you're not, hopefully this video helps you out. That's it for my video recommendation. That's it for day 28, folks. Thanks for watching today's video. Please like and subscribe so you can keto with me. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them down below. Just remember, nobody's perfect. Be a coach, not a critic, and take care.